This is TWiT.
Tech Break is brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. With all the same fun of IT Pro TV, ACI is amplified with new solutions for all your IT training needs. Entertain your team while they learn. Visit go.acilearning.com/TWiT. TWiT listeners who complete the form can receive as much as 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan. You'll get the proper quote based on the size of your team.
The last finalist in the iPhone app category, hugely, just absolutely deserved, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the winner of the App Store Award. It's an app called Flighty. And even as a person who does not travel too often, I think Flighty is fantastic. I think it's incredible because what's so great about it is plugged into all of the right data streams such that you get information even before sometimes the desk while you're waiting for your plane gets information, it feels like. I remember when I took a trip with some of the sales team to the podcast movement, and we were all on the same flight, and so I had all of that information in Flighty, and Flighty was updating me, oh, our gate has changed. Oh, this is changing. Oh, this has a delay. This is where we should enter because, this thing has changed. Here's where you should drop your luggage if you have it. I mean, it's got so much information in it, and it keeps you up to date. And what Flighty does very well is much like pCalc from developer James Thompson, it is constantly taking advantage of new technologies and features that Apple provides. So shortly after the Dynamic Island was launched and the introduction of live activities came along, then we saw Flighty add live activities to the app. So that way, up in the top of your phone, you could see just a little bit of information about like when the plane was going to be leaving or whatever it happened to be next that was gonna pop up. It has these notifications that come into you, so you know like when you're supposed to be checking in. You can see where your plane is, where it's going, how old your plane is. Just so much information. And I found it helpful even when I'm not traveling. If a friend is traveling or a family member is traveling, being able to keep track of their information, being able to pop in, okay, this is what gate I need to pick them up from. And I remember a friend was coming to visit, and I was able to tell them before they even knew, hey, your gate changed for whenever you touch down. So they had that as soon as they were where they needed to be.
Knowing where your luggage is going to land, that's the one for me. And also getting things like these really cool maps of all of the flights that you've done, because I track all of my travel with TWiT because it'll tell me like when I'm missing like a hotel or something, which is kind of important. You don't want to turn up somewhere and be like, oh, I don't have a hotel. That gets expensive quickly. But it can import from TWiT and sync with TWiT, which is really cool. So I can see all the flights that I've taken going back and forth around the world and see my statistics as well, which is I've left the world 9.6 times. Bearing in mind, I did used to fly for a living and travel for a living. So yeah, I found it to be excellent. There's a couple of small European airlines that it really doesn't track, but then at the same time, the airline doesn't have an app that allows you to track the flights either. And the airport doesn't have tracking information for the flight until it's about to take off. So,
wow.
I can't fault Flighty for that when nobody else seems to have the information either. So, in that sort of situation, I'm just generally grateful that I get to my destination and it's the destination I was intending to get to, and I get there at approximately the right time. So, I've found Flighty to be truly excellent.
If you're not someone who travels regularly, you can buy it's basically a $5.99 pass that will give you access, for a month of Flighty. So that way, Flighty Premium, that gives you all of the information, and so you can kind of think of it as just a little add-on to your ticket. You've got that extra information. You've got it available. For folks who travel regularly, you'll probably want to get the regular monthly subscription or the yearly subscription and really lock into it. But yeah,
there is also a lifetime option.
Oh, that's right.
Which for the folks who travel enough, and I do genuinely know some of those people, it's worth it. For most people, it is probably not worth it because it is a significant multiplier of an annual subscription. But at the same time, when you fly that much, you want that.
There it
option.
is. Yeah, $250.
Yeah, they also do
for
family
lifetime
sharing options.
Okay,
nice.
yeah. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, if you pay $450 for the lifetime plan, then everyone in your iCloud family will also have access to it. The annual plan for you alone is $49. The annual family plan is $89. And then, of course, there's the kind of monthly subscription as well. So all good stuff. I think Flighty is fantastic. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being the winner, but we shall see who ends up taking home the iPhone App Store Award when that information rolls out.